All right, let's dive in. Today, we are going to tackle something huge, a way to go from being confusing to being crystal clear. I mean, if you've ever felt like you're shouting into the void, trying to get people to understand just how good your service is, well, this explainer is for you. We're going to show you how to turn all that frustration into real, undeniable demand. Let's get to it. So, let me ask you something. Does this sound familiar? You have this brilliant service. You know it can change things for people. But when you try to explain it, you just get nothing. Blank stares, right? It's like the market just doesn't get it. They don't see the value you know is there. If you're nodding along right now, listen up. You're not crazy, and you're definitely not alone. There's actually a name for this exact feeling, and that name is the unseen injustice. I know, it sounds a little dramatic, but it's a very real, very subtle force that holds so many amazing businesses back. So today, we're going to drag it out into the light. So what is commercial injustice? It's simply this. It's the gap, the canyon, really, between the real value you know you provide and the perceived value that the market actually understands. This gap is the root of so much struggle, and it all happens for one kind of surprising reason. And here's the best way to think about why this happens. It's so simple, but so powerful. You're trying to read the label from inside the jar. Just picture that for a second. We're so close to what we do, we're swimming in our own jargon and expertise, that we literally can't see how we look from the outside. And for your customers, the ones standing on the other side of that glass, your message is just a jumbled, blurry mess. And all of that blurriness, that jumbled mess, it leads to one thing and one thing only, a confused customer. And let me tell you, that confusion has very real, very painful consequences for your business. It starts when you see deals going to your rivals, not because they're better, but just because they're clearer. Then, because no one understands your true value, you get pushed into competing on price. It's a race to the bottom. Pretty soon, it feels like all your marketing is just burning money, and you're spending way too much of your day just trying to explain the basics of what you even do. You know, it really all boils down to this one simple, powerful truth. A confused customer doesn't buy. End of story. Confusion is the #1 killer of sales. If a customer has to burn calories just to figure you out, they're gone. They'll find someone who makes it easy for them. So how do we fix this? Well, it starts with a pretty massive shift in how you see the world. Okay, this next part is maybe the single most important change you can make. It's going to reframe absolutely everything about how you communicate. And it is this. You are not the hero. Look, we're all naturally the hero of our own story, right? But in the story of your business, you have to fight that instinct. Your business is not the hero. Your customer is the hero. Think about it. They're Luke Skywalker. They're the one facing a challenge on a big journey trying to win the day. So, if they're the hero, what role do you play? You get to be the guide. You're Yoda. You're the wise, trusted character who's been there, done that. And to be a great guide, you really only need to do 2 things. First, offer empathy. You have to show the hero, hey, I see you, I get your struggle. And second, you have to demonstrate competence. You show them you have a plan to help them win. Now, to be a really effective guide, you need a secret weapon. And that weapon is a deep, deep understanding of the real problem your hero is facing. Because here's the thing, every customer's problem actually exists on 3 different levels. Okay, so every single customer is dealing with an external problem, an internal one, and a philosophical one. The external problem, that's the obvious thing, the surface level issue they'll talk about. But the internal problem, that's how the external one makes them feel. And the philosophical problem, that's the big why, the greater injustice of it all. Now, this is so important. This is the key. Most businesses try to sell solutions to those external problems, but people don't buy that. Customers make buying decisions to solve their internal problems. They buy a product to stop feeling frustrated or insecure or overwhelmed. That feeling, that's the real reason they pull out their credit card. Okay, let's make this super real. Take a look at the HR manager. The external problem, yeah, their initiatives are getting blocked. That's what they'd tell you. But what's the internal problem? What's the real pain? They feel invisible. They feel frustrated. That's the nerve you need to touch. Or how about the startup founder? On the outside, they say, I can't justify hiring a top designer right now. But what's really going on inside? They are absolutely terrified of making a huge, costly mistake that could tank the whole company. That fear, that's what's keeping them up at night. So this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, speaking their language. Once you finally understand their real internal problem, you can stop talking about yourself. You can stop talking about your solution, and you can finally start speaking their language. A language about their problems, their feelings, and their story. If you take one thing away, let it be this. This is the mantra you need to carry with you. Fall in love with the problem, not your solution. Because when you become obsessed with your customer's problem, you can't help but create a message that hits them right where they live. Your whole focus just shifts from, hey, look how great we are, to we see you, we understand what you're going through, and we have a plan to help. That right there is the soul of commercial clarity. So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. Just for a minute, forget about what you sell. Forget about the features and the benefits, and just ask yourself this. What is the deep internal frustration, the fear, the insecurity that my customer is feeling right now? Because when you can name that, and when you can solve that, you will never, ever be misunderstood again.